How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to the movie review, aka for our Saw review video for today. This time for this new episode for the series is going to be my review on the 2023 horror slasher film, and this is the sixth installment of this horror franchise as well, and that is, of course, Scream 6. Now, this is directed once again by the two guys who helmed the last film, which was, of course, Scream, which that came out last year in January, and it was a great entry to the franchise, and I was very happy that that one did not disappoint, since I'm a huge fan of this franchise myself. And reunites the same cast from the previous film, although this is the first film in the franchise to not feature Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott, which some of you may know she did not return for this new entry to the franchise, which is really sad. But anyway, the story of the film is that four survivors of the Ghostface murders leave Woodsboro behind to start a new, fresh start in New York City. However, they find themselves in a fight for their lives when a new killer embarks on a bloody rampage. So that's pretty much the story of Scream 6. Now, like I said, I really enjoyed the last Scream movie, which came out last year in January. I thought it was a great revival film to one of my favorite horror franchises of all time. And once I heard we were going to get a sixth film, I was really excited for it. But once I heard that Neve Campbell was not coming back to do this film to play Sidney Prescott again, I was heartbroken to hear about that, because of course Sidney Prescott is my favorite character of this horror franchise. But it was great. But it was still great to see everyone else who in the previous film come back to do this film. Like you've got Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, Mason Gooding, and Jasmin Savoy. It was great to see these people come back to do this film, and it was also great to see Courtney Cox returning as her iconic role in this franchise as, of course, Gale Weathers. But what really excited me the most to see this film was, of course, the new cast members who were going to be in this film. Like you've got Dermot Mulroney, which he has done a few things here and there, so I was pretty intrigued to see what he was going to do for this film. And you also have Samara Weaving, who's also in this movie too, which I was really surprised to see her in this film. And it was really surprising to see that she was making another movie with these two guys, because she has done a film before with these two guys before, which was of course Ready or Not, which that came out in 2019, and I had a lot of fun with that film. I thought it was a bloody awesome, really entertaining film. So I was really intrigued to see what she was going to do with this film and all that. And I was also really surprised to see the return of one of the characters who was in the fourth film, which that was, of course, Hayden Panettiere as Kirby. And I was really surprised to see that she was coming back to do this film. And I was also really intrigued to see what she was going to do for a character in this film and all that, since she is really different from the last film that she was in and all that. And once I saw the trailers for this film and where this one was going to be set in and all that, I was really excited to see where this one was going for and all that. But I was also a little bit curious as well, a little bit and all that, because I was hoping this was going to be not like how the new Halloween films were like, because once after the first Halloween film that came out in 2018, I had a great time with that film. But when the last two films that we did get before, which were Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, those were disappointing films. I was hoping this film was not going to be like those films and all that. And I went to see this film on opening day, which was on the 10th of March of this year. And there was a fair amount of people in the screening that I was in, but there wasn't a whole lot of people in the screening that I was in, though. But after watching this whole movie, I gotta say here, guys, that this one also managed to not disappoint me here, because I generally had a great time with Scream 6 here. The things that I liked in Scream 6 was the acting. I thought everyone was really great in this film. Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega were great together in this film, and I loved what they were given for their character materials in this film, which they showcase off their sisterhood as well as their fractured relationship. And I thought both of these actresses did a really great job of showcasing all those elements here in this film, which made me more interested with these two characters as I was watching this film along the way. And again, the acting is just really great here. And as for Courtney Cox, who she's returned to the film as Gale Weathers once again, I thought she was terrific in the film. And I love what this film did for her character here, in which I thought was really awesome here, and in which she does a lot more in this film, which was really awesome here. And I really felt for her character in this film, because after what she went through in the last film, which I won't say what happened in that film, because that would be spoilers for those who haven't seen the last film, so I'm not going to say it here. But again, Courtney Cox is terrific in the film. And as for Mason Gooding and Jasmin Savoy, in which they play brothers and sisters in the film like they were in the last film, I thought they were great together in this film. And they do bring a few joyful moments to the film, which I thought was really good here. And as for the new cast in the film, like I said, you've got Dermot Mulroney. I thought he was really good in the film, and Samara Weaving was also really good in the movie too, and everyone else, they were also really good as well for the most part. And as for the return of Hayden Panettiere, who was in Scream 4, in which in that film she played Kirby, in which in this film she plays Kirby again, I thought she was terrific in the film, and I loved what they did for her character in this film, which was really awesome here as well. And when it comes to Ghostface in the film, I would say he's even more menacing than ever than he was in the last film here, and I really loved that here while I was watching this film here. And when it comes to the kills in the film, I thought the kills in the film were really fun and exciting, and they are pretty creative as well. Like there's a good amount of creative kills in the film. Like there's one involving a convenience store, the one involving a subway, and when it gets to and especially the opening scene, I thought all those things were fantastic here, and they were directed so well done here by these two guys, from showing the amount of brutality and body counts to them in this film here. However, for the amount of times where some characters do get stabbed in the film, somehow they do tend to survive despite the amount of stabs they face in the film, which I kind of felt a bit odd at times in this film, and that's one of my nitpicks I do have with the film and all that. And when it comes to the script for the film, I thought it was well written in this film, and there's a few amount of like Easter eggs from like the original Scream films, which I thought were very surprising, because they just instantly gave me back nostalgia to the original Scream films I did watch when I was introduced to the horror slasher genre for the very first time and all of that. And I also liked how this film pokes fun at revival sequels and all that. Like this film pokes fun of like Halloween, like the new Halloween films, the sequel trilogy of Star Wars, and even James Bond, which when it came to moments like that, I found myself very surprised and yet entertained by those moments. And when it comes to the twist in the film, I thought the twist for this film was very unpredictable, and I liked how this film has multiple different characters in the film, which I thought that was really good formula in this film. It's like just like what the last few Scream films have done before in the past. And another issue I did have with this film was the pacing. I didn't think this film was that very well paced or anything like that, since this film is the longest of the franchise, and this is even longer than the last Scream film that we had, which was very long, which was Scream 2, because for that film was 2 hours, but this film is 2 hours and 3 minutes. The runtime is acceptable. Again, I just didn't think this film was very well paced enough, really. Even though that was the exact same issue I did have with the last film. Even though I did like how that film did feel pretty worthy for its slow build up and all that. But again, I just didn't think this film was that very well paced at all, really. But in the end, guys, Scream 6, I generally thought this was a really great sequel here, and I was very happy this one did not disappoint here, since I'm a huge fan of this franchise myself. And there are a few ways I could recommend this film. If you're a huge fan of this franchise or the cast, or you're a fan of just like horror slasher films in general, really, this is one you don't want to miss out for yourselves here. And if you miss a chance to see this in cinemas, it is available to watch at home on demand. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Scream 6. I'm going to give Scream 6 4 out of 5. Like I said, I'm very happy this one did not disappoint here, since I'm a huge fan of this franchise myself. And I don't know if I like this one a lot more than the last film, because I generally like both of these films and all that, but it's just really hard to say which is my favorite between the most recent ones and all that. But when it comes to this whole franchise itself, like most favorite and least favorite, my favorite has always been the first one, and for least favorite, obviously the third one and all that. But I will have to do a ranking of these films pretty soon and all that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching for my AKF Saw review on Scream 6, and let me know what you think of this movie if you have seen this already, or if you just recently checked out this film. Did you have a blast with this, or are you very disappointed with this? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Fogan's Media Corner signing off.